Hey guys, welcome. In this second lesson, we're gonna work with these four structures as you can see over here, or basically four things, or four pillars, four foundations, right? So these are like the core of web design, especially with WordPress. So first of all, for a beginner, I'm gonna walk you over the WordPress environment, more like the dashboard. And then secondly, I'm gonna walk you over themes and explain what themes are, theme builders, and also plugins down here. And then we get to structure and layout. So this part over here, that's where we get a bit hands-on, because I'll be showing you skeletons of what builds a site or how a site is built and stuff like that, right? So most of this I'm gonna touch upon sections, rows, and columns and elements, and then we're gonna get to walk over margin, padding, and radius, and that's where we start building stuff, right? So right now, let me just quickly go into a tab over here and show you a page or a site we're gonna build in the course of this lesson, right? So that's the site we're gonna make. So it will just have this part over here, the banner, and then this video over there, and then yeah, so let's see, it's gonna have the sections, this effects, and then yeah, it will be it, right? So let me just quickly not take much time and dive right into it, right? So I just set up a new domain over here. As you saw previously, I showed you in this first lesson how to set up most of this, like the domain, hosting, pointing, and all those stuff. Now I'm just gonna sign into a new subdomain so that you don't feel like you are a bit lost, right? So I'm just gonna sign into a new domain. As I explained in the first lesson, how to log into a new domain, you simply say the domain or subdomain, then /wp-admin. So you do it like this, right? So let's say this is the domain /wp, which is WordPress, then admin, right? And then it will take you to the sign-in page, which is this one, right? And then when you are inside of Hostinger, you're going to be able to just sign in automatically or go directly into the dashboard, right? So over here, I'm just gonna put my username. I think I should just use this. It should go through. So as you can see, it's going into the dashboard. So there's the newly installed WordPress dashboard, as you can see. So it has this Hostinger thing up there by default because we're using Hostinger, but it's a plugin. I'll show you how to deal with that. So back to my sketch over here. So they're walking you over the WordPress environment. So over here, as you can see, on our left, we have this section here. So this is what you need to be familiar with the most. And I'm gonna spend the first part of this lesson walking you over this, right? So this one, it will be taken out because it's just an onboarding plugin from Hostinger. The dashboard basically looks like this, just plain. And then how we dismiss most of the stuff in here, because they are too much over here, you come over here or rearrange them like this, right? But we come over here on screen options and uncheck these boxes, right? Why am I doing this? Because I want to keep it plain. As we add more stuff or more tools and stuff, it will populate automatically, and we'll also choose if we want certain things to appear here. Mostly this dashboard, it's reserved, for example, when you are having an online store and you want to monitor this, so you have an integration to see stats and insights on your site visitors, traffic, and so on, right? So you'll have those widgets or displays over here. So it's not a place to just keep random stuff. So that's the dashboard. It will be populated as I said. Then down here, that's where you'll find your post, but in here I won't touch on it because just updates, like what needs to be updated, what is up to date, and stuff like that. So as you add plugins and whatsoever, you'll be seeing the updates in here. Even WordPress itself or the database might tell you that it needs to be updated, because mostly I prefer keeping all the plugins to be installed, and I manage the updates, because when you do auto updates, mostly it gets to update them at the same time and exhaust the resources in your hosting server, right? So let's go to post. Post is when you're running you have a blog that runs under your site. You'll be creating all blog posts in here. So you'll have categories and tags and stuff like that under the section. And then media, it's where your media files are. For example, your images, logos, whatsoever, they are in here. Pages, it's where you get your web pages. For example, home page, contact, about, they will be created in here, and I'll come back to that. Comments is where you manage comments which people are coming and making on your blogs and stuff, right? So you either unapprove, approve, so it's like you're the moderator for the blog, right? Or remove it or flag it as a spam and stuff. Appearance is where we manage our themes. As you can see, there's the default themes we have, and also best practice is deleting or removing any themes, any plugins, any pages you don't use that are not active, right? So I'll just delete this too. I'm also gonna delete this, but I'll keep it as it is because it's the default one that's in here. And then you can be able to edit the files of the theme, right? Go into it and add some custom stuff, but let's not go into that because you'll end up just confused or overwhelmed. Yeah, so I'll just allow it to load and I go back. And then here's where there's like the new feature they just made up, where you can basically just edit, for example, the logo. If I click over here, I can change the header, add menus and stuff, basically build this whole page using this template. But I'm not onto that, and that's not what we're gonna use. Of course, if you want to play around this, you can at your leisure, because some clients you're gonna might have built a site using that, right? So you just know how to customize or edit, of which the main focus is to get mostly people that don't have sites at all, and you build something from scratch. From hosting to setting up this whole thing to emails and stuff, mostly that's what you'll be doing, right? So let's just go from appearance, we get to plugins. Over here is where you find plugins, and plugins are basically what in Shopify they call them tools or apps, I believe. So it's like this snippets of code that are added to your site, and they give it a certain function, right? So I'll be removing this one, but to remove you need to deactivate them first. So you can do it one by one, but since all these are from Hostinger, and the other one I see it is from Lightspeed Cage, we'll be adding this only at the end of the project so that we don't get to this one. How it works is basically it saves up temporary files that the site produces, for example the logos and stuff, so that the site can run smoother and faster when you reload or go to a new page, right? So I'll be removing it because we won't need that, right? You might need to say page all first, then you remove it, so that it doesn't memorize the old stuff, and only to find that when you are continuing it memorize the old site. So I'll deactivate all this and then delete them, right? Then delete over here. It will just ask if you are sure you want to delete and erase the data, then I'll just say yes. Okay. And then just like that, they are deleted. If I click back over here, the plugin section is empty, but it allows me to add a new plugin. So it will take you to a plugin more like the WordPress. It will connect to the WordPress plugin marketplace, right? Where you can search for different kinds of plugins and whatsoever, and you just install and activate. Some plugins which you buy, you're gonna have to upload them, and I'll show you that, right? So down here is where you find users, and as you see, I'm the administrator and I'm the user here. Whenever you have a store, for example, or a blog where you only want users to comment, and or you want people to comment only when they are users, meaning they have to create a user account first and stuff like that, the users will be down here. You'll be able to manage them, change the password, send the password reset links and stuff in there, right? And then tools is where you find one of the things I use mostly is the import and export feature. Like, it allows you to import maybe certain files that are templates and stuff like that, right? So for now, I'm getting to that. And then settings, general. If you go over here, it's where you set the language, I think, of the site, and the title and the tagline. So the title over here is what you see up there. Then the tagline is like a summary of what your site is all about, and this helps with SEO, or just when you're copying your link and forwarding it to somebody, that metadata you see there where it gets to say the link and it explains what this whole link is about, it's this tagline and the title. Then the site icon is that icon, of course, and then this, you leave it as it is. It explains itself as the URL. And then the administrator email address is over here. If you made a mistake or you want to change it from what you set previously, you can change it over here. And then yeah, the language here, if you change it from US to UK, English UK, it's going to change the add to cart button to become add to cart button to become add to basket. I've seen a lot of people crying about this in different forums, and others are willing to pay managers to change the add to cart button text to say add to cart instead of add to basket, and it's just this site language over there, right? And then time zone and format of the time, it's not really a thing. But the other thing though is down here under reading. Over here on writing is where you're dealing with the blogs and stuff, meaning you can set up a way to post via email, meaning you write a specific, for example, if you're working with a certain person that you want them to post content on your blog, instead of giving them access to your specific to your admin panel, and you don't want to create a user for them, you simply give them this server details, and in fact, don't give them server details. All you give them is a certain it's a certain email. Whenever they write a message to that email, the email will basically post content this side, right? Then under reading, it's important. That's why we set the home page. The reason it doesn't show that yet is because we don't have an active page in there. I'll show you later. Then the second important thing after reading is permalinks. Permalinks is like your link structure, URL link structure. So instead of having it to be numeric month or date and day and name, for example, let's say if we set it here, it means it will be creator genz.whatever.com / the current month we are in and the name of the page, which is weird or funny, right? Or numeric and whatever. So we keep it on post name, because it's just gonna be my link / my domain, which is domain.com / the name of the page. If the page is home, it's just gonna be / home / whatever, right? So I'll keep it, always make sure it's at post name, and then save whenever you make changes. And then from there, let's see, under help, if you are lost somewhere, maybe you want to read some documentation there. Privacy, let's see what's in there, but mostly you won't have to deal with this. It's where you want to create privacy policies and stuff, right? Back to dashboard. So now I'm gonna walk over the whole thing, showing you what we need to do, our workflow, right? So I'm back on my dashboard over here. The workflow we're going to use, we're going to do one, create pages. So we're gonna create maybe 2 or 3 pages. So we're gonna have home, then we're gonna have about, and then we're gonna have contact us. So these are the 3 pages we're going to create, right? And then after that, we're gonna do the second thing. We're gonna go, in fact, we won't do this because I was thinking of permalinks, which we've set already. We're gonna go and set this home page to become our static page, right? Set home page. Home page. Just creating a home page doesn't mean that it's already set. You need to create it and then set it. So you do 1, then you do 2, right? So that's what we're going to do right now. Back to our site over here, gonna go to pages, and I can just use the shortcut here, home or there. Whenever you are on this section and you want to go to a specific place, you don't have to click here and enter and go wherever. You just hover, which is hover, and then you go to that section, right? Hover. For new beginners in this, you are hovering about this or pointing at it, right? So I can also use this section there as a shortcut. So I'll go to pages and add new, and then I'm gonna create my home, my contact us, and about, right? So it will look like this. We don't have to pick any pattern or whatever. I'll close this wizard and then come here and say home and publish. So here's the trick. Uncheck this so that you just publish and it doesn't show you this thing again. So I'll be doing this the last time, right? The other thing, that shortcut you saw up there suddenly disappeared. So I'll click here and come up over here, click this buttons there and get to uncheck this full screen mode so that I can see my shortcut and my menu. So I'll create a new page, and this new page I'm gonna call it about, then publish. Now you see it just publishes it. It doesn't get to say you need to publish or do whatever. So I'll close this and create another page. Then I'm gonna call it contact us. Contact us. Then publish. Then close this wizard again, right? So as we go into all pages, you'll see all the pages we created, right? If I view this, let's see how it looks. So it might have that template we got from the beginning, but it definitely doesn't, because we just said we don't choose anything, right? If it does, don't worry, we'll continue on going forward, right? As you can see, automatically it's like somehow, let me go back to the pages. So home, if you check, we already somehow have the menu appearing up here, right? Meaning if I click contact, it should go to contact us, then home, it should go to home, right? But now this is the page home. If I remove this home and just go to the domain, it comes here, right? Meaning we need to assign a specific page to become the home page. Makes sense, right? So let's go to our dashboard and we go to settings, remember, and then we are going to, if you see that it's busy loading, you shouldn't rush it, you should just wait. So go to reading. Is it reading? Yeah, reading. And then you see now the static compared to previously. If I deactivate all the pages and come back, this static won't be there. So I'll say select static, not show the latest blog, which is what we saw there. And then I'll set the home page to be home. So remember I said you create the page and set it. Even if I say I want the contact us page to be the home, it's possible because it's just a page. The site doesn't know that this name or label I've given is home, or it should just take it as home, right? So that's basically for us to know the labeling of the pages and stuff, right? So I'll just come and hit save. And then after this, if I visit the site, I'll just click like this, hold shift and click for it to open a new tab, and reload. You'll realize that now the home page is like blank as this instead of that thing we saw before, right? And then now we need to start working. Let's see. So we have now created pages, set up the home page, and now we need to start building, right? So basically, getting into the second step, because that's how we start building, right? We get to deal with a bit of this things called themes. As you saw, the thing that had assigned that ugly look, it's a specific theme we have in the theme options under appearance. So themes somehow mostly are there that are preset, pre-made, and they come with templates and stuff. And that's not what we're gonna use for us to have a custom site. And mostly people who build sites using Shopify, they have that problem whereby they are using a certain theme and you can't now break it and tweak it into something else that's a new look. Like you can't change the columns and whatever, you are limited, right? So what we want to do is use a theme builder, more like use a blank theme and add the look, change things, and then it becomes our own unique looking site, right? So we're gonna use this over here. It's Elementor. It's the Hello theme by Elementor, right? So Elementor is just this a brand or business or a site that has themes and plugins, and we're gonna also use their page builder, web page builder. It's like a drag and drop, right? So let's start over here. We're going to under our theme and we set up a new theme, right? So we're gonna come to themes, appearance and themes, and hit add new, and then I'm gonna search for it. Mostly I don't have to search because it's already somewhere in here. As you can see, it's there, Hello Elementor. And then in future I might touch on using Astra, and the other one is Divi, right? Astra is also a bit it allows you to just use a preset template for the header and footer. You don't have to struggle around that. In fact, before we continue, let me just sketch something quickly for you. As you can see, I've drawn this already. So when it comes to a site, you have this 3 sections. There's your header and that's your footer. So mostly when we talk of themes and whatever, we're just talking of a preset way for you to be able to set up where the logo is positioned. For example, you can choose that the logo should be here, or the menu should be here, or you want the menu to be here and the logo to be there or wherever, right? And this is the footer. You want it to show contact us details, policy pages and stuff down here, or you want to change the order and stuff. So that's basically where themes come in. But when we use a theme builder, which allows us to tweak a blank page, more like a theme that's blank, and we create all this stuff, it allows us to be flexible, meaning we can make the menu look different and stuff like that, right? So for now, let's just use the Hello theme by Elementor, which is blank, and we'll continue building from there. So I'll just hit install. It will install and we activate it, then get to delete this one, right? Just give it a few seconds and then I activate. And then you see it says thanks for installing Hello theme. It already tells us that we can use the Elementor site builder plugin. And then what I'll do is click on this and delete it. Remember, best practice, delete any page, anything, any plugin or whatever that you don't use, right? So this one over here already allows us to customize it, meaning when you come to appearance now, you'll see patterns, customized menus and stuff. So if I hit customize, I'll be able to now tap into a space where I can now change this part here, the logo, the menus and stuff, creating all those. As you can see, the site identity up here is where I set the logo. right, of the site, the icon, which is the favicon there. These things you see, that's where you put them, and they're already telling you the size, meaning the site icon, you don't have to just grab a random thing. For example, I just hit here. Oh, in fact, I was rushed and a lot of people will be stressed. So the tagline and stuff, if you didn't set it up in the other section, just drop it in here. Site logo, whenever you click on stuff that need you to upload stuff like this, they will need you to either drag and drop something from your file explorer or your anywhere in your PC, or click select files and they'll easily be set like that. And then I need to navigate to where my files are, right? For example, let me just get a thing somewhere. Let's say desktop lessons 2. Let's see if I have a logo in here that I can use. Okay, logo, I'll use this one, right? Then select. Then if I hit crop, I'll need to set it properly like this, right? And I crop, and it will be cropped like that. It should appear somewhere up here instead of the site title, right? It should begin appearing. Or if I want to avoid cropping, I'll just say skip crop. It will bring it as it is, but it will be a bit big, right? Then the site icon, same thing, select the logo or create a specific thing for the site icon. As you can see, it will look like that. But if you go on Canva and give Canva this pixels, they will allow you to design something within this space. And then yeah, so whenever you do something, publish your work, that's basically saving, right? And then let's see, reload. That's my logo. But if I come back in here, let me just show you, change the logo, bring in this full width to 1 and skip cropping, then publish. You see the logo is now bigger, right? So yeah, also the logo, let me see, they don't show you the pixels. Let's see. Yeah, so that's basically it. Won't be using this thing for a long time, as I'm going to go into the next phase of this lesson, right? So over here is where you deal with the menus. Remember the menus, we have the home, whatever appearing somewhere there on our little sketch, the menu there, right? So yeah, so let me just create a new menu. You can label this menu and say it's the main menu, and then you say it's for desktop and mobile or whatever. Labeling is important when you do stuff, so that you can know what this is assigned for. So I'll just say this goes to the header only, so that when I come and create a menu that goes to the footer, I'll assign that, right? So I need to now add items to this menu. I'll add the home page, the about, and contact. And if I want to create a home page, not a home page, I want to create a sub menu or drop down menu, I'll simply more like whatever menu or item I've set, I'll just drag it to the side. Let me show you. For example, I duplicated this by intention, so I'll put it under home and skew it to the side like this instead of being leveled. So it's like changing the level there, right? Then I'll put it like this. If it's a sub menu, it's also like this, but I'll keep it like that. Then publish. If you check, it shows a drop down icon next to home, meaning it's like that, right? If it's a sub, it will be sub and stuff. And then let's move on. Going forward, we're gonna be able to deal with the footer also, of which we need to use Elementor to do that, right? And then if you have additional CSS you need to use, you'll put it in here to target a specific thing. I'll show you that. So let's leave this part and go back to our dashboard and continue. So now we have a site which has a logo and it has a menu, right? And then of course, I think under themes, that's also where we customize the theme and deal with a bit of colors of the site. Now let me leave this part. I clicked this part by mistake. So themes, appearance, customize, and then let me see if we can deal with colors or something. Let's see, identity, no, they don't give us that option here, but it's cool. Let's close and then we'll get started with dealing with a lot of those things like colors and stuff, right? So let's go to plugins and install this plugin called Elementor. I don't want us to follow this. I want you to know how to install a plugin because I didn't get to install one when I showed you. So I'll say add new plugin and then search for Elementor and just wait there as it searches. And then it's this one, Elementor website builder, right? More than just a page builder. Install it. So this thing allows us to now create the header from scratch. It allows us to secondly like create everything from scratch like crazy. So I'm just going to activate it. You'll see it will be added on our dashboard over here. And then it will want us to go through an onboarding thing, of which I don't like going through wizards and stuff, right? But anyways, let's skip and see. So I'll skip everything. If I don't want to deal with anything, I'll just close up there and back to my dashboard. As you can see, it already populated this space, right? And I told you that it would, but for now I'll simply remove the Elementor overview and we continue. So now this plugin added this function, Elementor home settings, role managers and stuff. So, and it also tells you that you can upgrade to Pro, of which you don't have to, because using the hello theme as you saw, you can already somehow play around with the theme, right? Customize the header and footer, and then with Elementor you'll be able to just literally create the site, right? Let me just close here and I show you. So when I come in here and then templates, whenever you create stuff and save your work, they will come under here and you can download and then resell them or just reuse them whenever you want, right? So let's go to home, the home page we created. In the onboarding I should have selected that we're gonna use Elementor to edit our pages, but it's cool. Once we do that once, it will know that we're using Elementor, right? So I'll say edit with Elementor, and then it will take us into the Elementor page builder. So we're gonna set up the page layout and continue from there. Then I'm gonna go back and touch up on this part down here, structure and layout. So let's just wait for it to load up. You'll excuse or bear with my network, it's not super fast. It's been affected a bit over the weekend. Then boom, as you see, we are loaded into, or we've managed to get into the page. Also another wizard we can just skip, and then what we have in here, it's another dashboard now. So being familiar with this, it's like what's gonna literally make you an advanced builder. So there's where you find all the elements. So we have elements by layout and elements which are like elements, right? Others are under Pro. For example, I can't use the ones in here, but I can use the ones under here, and the general ones are basically what you can use. For example, this site mostly I used like the basic plan. I didn't use Pro, right? I can get away with most of the stuff by just using basic stuff, right? But I'll be giving you access to download the Pro version, right? So let's go. So this thing here brings this structure, or the what can I call it, the layout tree, where you see what's what and what's not. And then over here is containers and grids, and I'll explain in that part where I get back. Images and heading, they explain themselves. So let's go back. So when it comes to structure and layout, so the whole internet thing or the web is built up like this. So you have your, look, I'm drawing something ugly. So you have your site over here. There's your web page from your desktop or your phone. So on top there, as I said before, we have our header. And these two or these three are just sections. So that's your footer. And there's your body, right? Let's take it that this over here is just the bracket. It's a section. Nothing else but a section. So we have sections. So even inside of the body, a normal site has sections, because this is where you might find some sort of a video or some sort of a, let me remove this, some sort of a 2-column structure where it's some text over here and a button, right? And then some sort of an image over here and some sort of text, right? Title, and then let's say there's a title and then there's some small text and a button and then some sort of a text again, and now some columns like this showing services you render with some subtext like that, right? And then maybe a section with an FAQ, frequently asked questions, and then they are down there as you saw on the site I built. So if we are to build something that looks more like this, we need to understand that all this has a structure behind it. You don't just drop title and image and they form shape, right? So you need to understand how the structure part plays a hand in putting the elements at your preferred location. That's basically what structure is. Putting the elements I want at a specific location that I prefer, right? So that's basically it, right? So let's go and see what this is all about. So first of all, we have sections. I showed you that they are like brackets, more like this or like this whole row there. Then we have a row and columns. So now this is where it gets interesting. Let me do this, right? So we do know one thing, that if we have a chart like this, right, and we say this is like A, then it's like B, then it's like C over here, then 1 2 3 like on Excel, then we need to understand what's a row and what's a column, right? So we could say that the line that goes that side is our row, right? The one that goes down there is our column, right? So whatever goes that direction is a row, goes down it's a column. Meaning if they say, hey, can you check up the column at number 3? So it's like stuff that are here, right? Row, column, so something like this. I'll show you as we go, right? If you check here, I said we have section, row, columns, and elements. So you don't just put a button. For example, let's say this is our site page, right? You don't just say I want a button to be here and it appears here and you say it will be centered on its own. It means you need to identify that, let me create a section, and in this section let me find a way to position this thing here. Meaning you could say, cool, there's a section there, let me put a column. So I'm gonna say, cool, there's one big column, and then the column will allow you to say, in this column let's put all the elements that are inside of it to begin from the bottom. I think you might know basic formatting from Word, Microsoft Word or whatever, right? So that's basically where it comes from. So you'll be playing with columns and stuff. So if I have an image here and I need to place buttons, it means I have column 1 and column 2, right? Meaning there's a section, that's a column, 2 columns, and the columns can't position themselves like this on their own, meaning I need to put them inside what? Inside a row. So I'll have a row, then 2 columns inside. Once you put 3 columns or 4 columns, they will automatically be in this position. So if I say there's a row, and then 2 columns inside, they will go this way. Then I say 3 columns, they will go this way, like that, until they squeeze up and they become smaller, because the parent is a row. But if I get to say there's a column, and then I feed this column with elements, they will keep going down, right? So that's basically the whole thing, right? So let's go back to our page builder over here. So you have this crank thing here, it's page settings, where you get to set the title of the page, of course, if you want the page to be published or private or drafted, and then the featured image. This is where also when you copy the link and send it to Instagram, Facebook, or a person on WhatsApp, it will load up that featured image for that page, right? And then there's the page layout over here. So I'll need to change this. The default page template as defined in Elementor panel, it's gonna be whatever. So I'll just switch it to full width, Elementor full width, like that. As you can see, it already got rid of that thing that was here. If I say default, it shows some title and some nasty looking page. But when I say full width, for example, you'll see this. When I get back and say layout should be Elementor full width, and then it's gonna be a bit neat, right? But the tagline is still there. So I'll hit publish to save my work. Always publish to save your work. After a few actions, you publish, right? And then let's see what else did we miss. Then I need to activate this button to hide this title. So if I say yes, then this will go as soon as we reload the page. So if I come over here and reload, it looks more like this, but we see this thing is still there. It's cool. Let's continue, and then we'll see many other things as we continue. So hit over here to go, not this one, hit over here to add elements, or go back to this. But whenever you are inside of site settings or page site settings, you need to be there, right? So I'll close this so that I go back intentionally. So whenever you move from let's say, let me come back to this, not this, I want to go back to the elements, right? Let's wait for it to load up. And that's one thing, whenever your network is slow, you shouldn't rush it and make other moves and stuff, because you might cause a conflict in your server, again overwhelm it, then delay your work. But again, you could multitask. For example, you could still reload or go back to the dashboard from another window whilst this is taking time, or reload if it's taking forever, right? So let's see, back to this. So you saw I was stuck somewhere, reloaded and came to this. But if you have changes to save, it will tell you that, are you sure you want to take this action before and you lose your work? Then you have to agree or not, right? So let's go. So you see the colors there, we didn't set them, meaning we need to come to this part, site settings. This is page settings, site settings. We're gonna deal with the coloring, the global color, the typography, which is the font and stuff, right? So global colors, these are like for the colors of the site that we're gonna work with. So the primary color, I keep it black. Secondary and this, I keep them as they are, but I'll take some colors from this side and save them as we go, right? I'm not sure if I should do that as yet, but I'll see. Let's see. It's okay, let's just change this one. So I'm gonna use this tool. I'll show you how to get it. So come and select here and put in this color code and save changes. So go to your browser and just search for color picker extension on Google, and then there's the one that you should open, color picker eyedropper, then add to Chrome. It will basically be in here. Then you're gonna mark it, pin it to your dashboard, because it's stuff I always use, right? Then the other one is like the ruler measure, so you should search for ruler measure or ruler extension, and then let's see, page ruler measure, screen ruler. Any of this, right? You add to your extension to your browser, and then you pin it because you'll be using it frequently. Then that's more like it. So don't get shocked whenever I can copy colors, right? So going back, close this, right? And then I saved this one only, so I'll be adding a lot of colors as we go. And then the other thing, global fonts. So the global fonts, we have primary, secondary, text, and whatever, so I can just change them in here. So I'm gonna use this font called Inter. So whenever you want to know fonts and stuff, find inspiration from different web pages, right? You could go on Google or Pinterest and say web design or website template and whatever, and then what you do, right click, go to inspect. This inspect tool is gonna be your biggest friend in this part, right? Because when you click on this cursor there, it allows you to point at stuff and see the name of the font and the color. So as you can see on that thing down here, it shows the font. It says 64 pixels, Inter Sans Serif. So that Inter is the font name. Then the size, the 64px is the size in pixels, and then shows you the color also. So if you want to know the color specifically, you click on this, you drag and see where the color is. As you can see, the color is this one. You click on it, it's white or whatever. You see the font size, the weight is there. It's like if I change this, it becomes more bold. If I make it more like a 600, it will be more bold and stuff, right? For example, let's say 800, you see, like that. Then let me just remove my changes. So that's basically it. This inspect tool is your biggest friend, right? You see everything, you see what they've done, the columns, the rows, and whatever, the padding and stuff. I'll show you that. Let's go. So I'm just gonna say Inter, that's the font, and I'm gonna give it maybe a, let's say 28 pixels, I'm not sure. Then the weight, you set it here. I'm just gonna keep it at medium. And then what else? Let's say secondary. So I'm just gonna change all this fonts into Inter, even though I don't put in the size. Just the text should just be Inter, no Roboto or whatever. And then you can search for other fonts which appear on Canva or whatever place, right? Then I'm gonna save the changes and then go back. Let's see, typography is basically fonts, right? That's basically it, right? For the body, I can just set this to be primary color black, meaning every body thing I do should be this. Then Inter, I can keep it at, you see it's already making changes to stuff on my side. 15 is okay. And then the links should be black, should be default. It will basically go to the primary color. There's black, so everything like this I need them black, so I don't have to change everything, right? Because some of the stuff will inherit the primary color. And then buttons also, you could just change this as you build, but mostly if you have some design or sketch from your client, you'll just make changes in here, right? So the colors of like basic stuff. Then close this, then close this. You see we have already changed the color of this by changing the primaries and stuff. And then let's go. Let me see where to get rid of this, because it's now, it keeps appearing and I need it gone ASAP. Let's see. Okay, let's go out. Should we go out or start building? Let's go out and see where to get rid of this. To the dashboard. So we're gonna go to appearance, and then let me see, theme settings. Then under theme settings, I'm just gonna try once or leave and go back to start building, right, and show you structure. So let's see theme settings. There's like settings that you'll never tamper with yet. Customize, and then let's see if it's in the header or not. Let's say start designing. So it allows us to start tweaking the header and footer, as you can see, right? So it's going to open the page, the Elementor page builder, but specifically for the header and footer thing. So let's see. Hello theme header. So I'll just say show logo tagline. That's the thing we needed. Oh, you don't want the menu to appear, of which we do. The layout also, of which we're gonna keep it like that, the order, right? And then the menu, you could specifically change the color of those. And then if you see the breakpoint here, it's basically for you to do a responsive site, meaning for mobile it will look something like that, right? Of which if we scroll it a bit, let's see, it would look like something like this on your phone, right? Otherwise, if you have a site logo issue, then you will have to deal with it from here. Reduce your logo width there, of which they wanted us to crop it, and I didn't crop it. Then I wanted to come and show you how to deal with it from there. Then the footer, I don't want the logo to appear. The tagline, I will set a specific menu for that. Remember, I created a menu and said it's for desktop. I can go create a menu and say it's for footer, right? Then close. And then we are gonna deal with now having to go back to the page. So there's your revisions or your logo. I mean your log, not logo. So we go back to the page and I start implementing. You see now it says edit with Elementor. We click that. So we now need to go back to our page and implement this structure. So deal with columns, rows, and elements. So now we are in the page. Let me close this. We're in the page and it's neat like that, right? And then we get going. So you can just drag a container from there or from here. So basically a container, okay, my pen was lost. So basically what Elementor has done in the past year, they simplified this section, rows and columns into a container. So it somehow reduced the code in the whole thing, meaning whenever you don't have to drag a section and they make a code for it and a row and whatever, and it becomes a lengthy code which causes the speed to drop. So they put it as a container and you can choose the direction of the container, the format, the spacing and stuff, right? So let's go back. So as I said, they set up how to set up the containers, and those containers represent sections and whatever, right? So if you click here, it's basically gonna say Flexbox, and then it allows you to choose this. So don't play around with this. I'll show you how to do this on your own, right? So you can choose this one here, or just drop one container from there, like this. You put it here, is basically the same as taking one from here, right? Publish. So you see our structure 3 in a way, or layout 3 is starting to show some sense, right? So let me just demonstrate a basic structure as I showed you in the rowing and columning and stuff there. So there's one container. It has a layout. So the layout allows you to set the width of this container, of which you'll just keep it, I'll hit Ctrl Z, keep it at boxed or full width like this. So I'll say boxed, and then you can set the minimum height, right, or keep it at wherever, Ctrl Z, and it will grow as you feed it with stuff, because there's like the parent container. Whatever you put inside is like the child containers, right? And then the items in here can have a direction. You see, when I point this arrow, they say horizontal is a row, vertical is a column. So meaning I wasn't lying. I was in line when I said it's a row, it's a column, right? So, and then the content justification, or the sizing and spacing, it allows you to set this to put whatever content. Let me just come here, add element, and we put a heading. So I just dragged, or you can just click and it will be wherever. So delete. So you see it goes to the top, and then if I click here, that's when I want to come to this part, right? There's this part, there's this part. So this heading is inside of the container. Get that, right? When I said go to the start or the middle, it means whatever I'll be doing stays to the middle and there will be space in between, right? So always center or like this, it depends on what you're working with, right? And then let's keep it in the middle, in the center there, and center middle. So publish, right? And then going forward, what you could do, for example, you want a site like this or a site like this. Let's build this quickly. So there's like a section that has a row and two columns. You don't need to think of the rows and columns with Elementor, but when we go to the other page builders, because there are a lot of them and different people will want different stuff, unless if you're targeting an audience like in a niche where you want to create sites for certain people, like people who want drop shipping stores and stuff, you'll know what to use according to your preference, but I'll be showing you everything, right? There's like two containers that are like going sideways. So how do I do that? So let me start here. So let me just, maybe should I do it in the same container here or the next? But let's go, let's just do this. So I'll get a container, put it underneath the text, meaning inside of this container. But let's delete this for it to be straightforward. Let's delete everything. So I'll have one container, and then let me show you what I said. It didn't set direction, but let's see what happens if I drop text or something inside. The easiest way is just to duplicate. You see what it does? Meaning there's a column by default until I choose that this is a row. So column, row, right? Meaning for me to achieve that look, as I said, I need to format this container to be a row, and then I get to drop in two containers inside. So for me to avoid doing this, let me show you. Put it sideways, not inside, right? Let's see. Sideways, because it's inside of this one. You see, it's a container, parent container that has two child containers. Then inside these containers I can put whatever. And then let me put an image on my right. And then the thing with images, you need to set the resolution to full always, so that it looks crisp. And then I put my text to my left, so I'll put my heading and my text. So this text editor is text, right? So I'll get to my heading there. I have content, style, and advanced. So this has margin and padding, and I said I'll touch up on it. So and many other things. So content is where you write your content. So let me just copy this, right? I'm just gonna copy this and we make our site. So I'm gonna come here and paste it as a plain text, then go to style, change the color here, which I'll just maybe choose it to be black primary, and then typography. If I click these global things like the global fonts we set and the global colors, but I'll just say come here and you see it's already Inter by default. I'll keep it at 60 something, or let's just say 48, right? Why 48? I don't know, it's just seemed to be fitting properly. Then the font here, I'll keep it to be black primary. Typography, I'll keep it somewhere, let's see, at 22, and publish. Right? If I preview this, there's preview. If I preview the changes, it looks like this. If you see there is some space here, right? So this space, we want to know how do we sort it out, right? We get to sort it out by adjusting the spacing, and you could do that inside of the parent by choosing that, hey, let's see if I can align the containers, like both these containers. I wish you could see how I try explaining with my hands, meaning both these containers inside of this parent, they should align equally. This is what center means. So both centering both containers that are inside this main container. Publish, and then come in here and reload, of which it automatically does that on its own mostly. Then there it is, meaning we just need an image now. Click this, choose an image, let's upload one. I'm gonna choose one any somewhere without overthinking it. So let me just go for, is that this one? Let me choose this one. I'm not sure if it will fit or it will be too big, and if it does become too big, we'll be able to, I'll show you how to deal with it. It's not too big, right? Reload and see. Then just like that, bam, 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 bam. Congratulations, you've just created your first section or layout on your site. You could pause this and try doing that, implementing it on your site, right? And then let's go back. You can resume as soon as you managed. If you didn't and it's hitting you hard, repeat it over and over. And that's the model of this course. It's not going to be like theory. It's going to be a lot of stuff I'm showing you. You pause and do that, you continue. If you're stuck, you don't have to wait till the end of the course for you to come back and want to try doing this whole thing, right? So that's more like it. The other thing is up to you to decide this whole alignment. Alignment is a broad thing. It's not a thing where I could tell you that do this or that. For example, you could keep it not more like not justify if it should align or not, and let that be decided by the elements you bring in. For example, we spoke of something that looks like a button here, right? Let's go to that. So I'll drag a button and put it down here. You see how you could easily fall into the idea of putting it here and it looks like that, and you get confused. Simply drag it to the right place. So if you make an error, delete. I just hit delete on my keyboard. Drag it to the right place. Don't be you click and hold, then move your mouse to the right place. Don't be pressured to drop, and then you drop when you see that it's at the right place, right there. And then it looks like this. So let's see what this one says. Try let me just come up with Gen X creator. There's where you put in the text of the button. Try Gen X. I did say that I might tweak the site, right? Gen X money app. Right? Monetization app. Then publish. Then let's see how it looks. Reload, please. Okay, it's taking long. I'm just gonna reload manually. I picked up something with this. The more work you put in, it's like the more it gets to delay reloading stuff or saving stuff. Let's see. There's our small button, right? You see how I didn't center it, but it already looks like proper for UX, right? So if I click on this, I want to deal with the button. So you could make the buttons or elements invincible by just that, right? And then there's where the link that you want the button, clicking the button for it to go to. If you don't want it to go anywhere, just put a hashtag, and then I'll show you other tricks as we go, right? So let's see how to go about styling this button, because you will see that when I hover over the button, the text changes. So I want it to change, like hover there. I don't want it to change the color of the text. Just say text color black, meaning it shouldn't change. Or if I want it to change a bit, I'll make it a bit like so, like make it a bit black gray, right? Or keep it black, but having color that changes, like interactive, like ooh, it's real time, right? Then you could change the whole button color background by setting a specific color you want the text to have. For example, color, let's make it black. See that? So I'll keep it over here. Let me clear it. Color this to clear, right? And then publish to save my work. And then down here you see radius and padding. So I think I need to go back to my board. So back again with some theory that's like bothering to some. So let's suppose there's my button, right? And then the button has a text written try, and there's the center of the button, center vertically and horizontally. So vertically means basically going up and down, horizontally is left and right, right? So if I tell you that from this point, from the center point, going up and down to the base of this, the edge, the end of this is gonna be padding. The space between this text and the end there is padding up, meaning padding top, then padding from here to the end there is padding bottom. Then from the center to the left and the end is padding left. Then from here to there is padding right. So you need to assign figures that between my center here and my center here and the end of the button, how many like there? So meaning the button will be like this, right? This is only the center. Then you need to also assign it like that. So meaning there's the center where the text is centered. Then if I say there's like 500 pixels, then it means this will be too long. Then I say to the left I want it to be 20 pixels, then it will be short this side. Same thing with going up and down. So padding works on everything. Then there is also margin. Margin is like the space from the outside to wherever, the space to the outside to wherever. It works to the right, left, bottom and top, like that, right? So let's go back to our builder and we see. So if I unlock this, meaning when it's locked, it's like this, like Canva. If you remove the figures, it's locked. But if I unlock it, it means whatever I put goes to this cell. But if I lock it and put a value here, whatever value I put will go to the rest of the cells, right? But if I unlock it and type different values, they will go to their separate values. And as you can see over here, it means from the center going up is 50, 50, 50, 50, right? So let's put a 0 on everything and unlock it. So let's keep something like, let's also go back to our inspecting tool. So click on this and point at this. So from this 20, 35, meaning 20 going up and down, then 35 going left and right, right? So let's see, 0, 0 keeps it like this. So top 20, bottom 20, so that's our 20. Then let's say 35 or 38, then 38 to the right, 38. So I could scroll or whatever, but I just prefer this. So if we save, it will come in here and look more like, reload, like that. You see, it already looks good, and we can put text and columns and whatever, right? So let's go. So we could do this to this entire column, because the column is touched that part, and there is no side that looks like that. If you look at this side, there is space here, meaning it's padding. So let's add padding to this parent column, because if we add it to this, it will be padding to this one only. Let me show you how it will be. So it's not under layout, it's under advanced. We unlock it and we give it padding. As you can see, before, like, look at this, look at this. I wish it could be like that. Let's go back. Cool. If you see, I unlocked and the padding disappeared on the left, the right, the top and bottom. So let's go to the top and add a 50. You see, it's adding 50 to that, and this one is not added, meaning we don't need that. We need to have some padding that is on the parent here from the top. Remove this one, then add maybe 50 or 100. 50 works, I think. Let's try 100 there, right? And then if you check after it loaded, it will look a bit different. And then that's more like it, padding to the top already. Then the bottom also need a padding, and then we could do 50 or 100 again, like that, meaning it will be floating somewhere in the air like so, right? Continue on and I show you how to go about this. So let's see. One other thing you might have an issue with is, how do I get to put some text up here whilst I have this, some sort of a thing that looks more like, let's see, something like, it's not here, but let's say where I have text here and I have, let's see, I recall it being, let's say if there was text here, it means I've done something that looks more like this. I'll show you. So it's more like a container, and I choose that the direction goes down. Why? So that I can add a container inside. In fact, before the container, let's do this. Let's copy this title and paste it here and center it under style, right? Let's say it's centered like that, and I reduce the font like this, right? Then I get to go and add a container under it. Then this container, I can choose, I want the container to go to the right, to become a row, so that I can put two columns inside, two containers, duplicate. You see, it will be like this, meaning if I copy this and put it here, copy all these elements, paste, copy, paste, copy, then paste. So it gives us a different look now. We have this thing on top of this. Why? Because why is it possible? Because the parent goes down, meaning whatever I put inside goes downward. Then this new sub parent carries this two columns inside. I think this is interesting, right? So let me just keep it here and we go back to paddings and stuff on this one, and we take it from there. So if we look at this thing over here, what we have basically managed to do is to fit in multiple columns inside of I'll refrain from using columns because we spoke about that. So we managed to put in multiple containers inside of one container. So we have this one big container that feeds in multiple containers inside, and I feel I should somehow illustrate that, because that's something we're gonna work with often, right? So it's something whereby we have these big container, so container, and then inside of this container we get to, let's say, container 1, and then we give it a direction that goes down, right? We get to write a title, title, and then we get to also add some text. The reason the text will go down, like this is one, the reason it will go down is because of the direction of this container, right? Then we add one big container like this. So there's container 2, right? And this container, its direction is going sideways, right? So it's like a row in a way, right? So this one's a column because it points down, this one's a row. You don't have to memorize that. And then we drop in a container inside and another container inside, right? So this is going to be another container. So there's container, there's container. So these containers, you don't have to set where they should point or not. It depends on what you want to put inside, right? For example, what we've done there is just a matter of putting in something that looks more like it's gonna be text going downwards here, and then text and then button. So it means over here we basically did something like title, text, then button. The reason they'll go down is because this one is pointing down, right? And by default it's pointing down. Before you set it up, I've established that and illustrated it. So the same thing with this, you could put it in multiple ways. For example, you could put let's say title, and then text, and then you get to put in a container inside. This thing can go on and on and on, right? Then the container here, you get to it to point, let's say container, and it points that direction, right? This direction. And then inside of this container you drop in 3 containers or something. Then it will be like this. It's like a matter of layouts, basically what I was trying to communicate at the beginning. So that's basically the thing, right? You can do, let me show you what I was trying to do. So I'll just copy this and put it here, and then I'm gonna try and this one by default, I said if before you even point, it is by default going down, right? So what we get to do is drag in this, put it here, and then inside of this, that's where I'll get to communicate that this one should go sideways. You see now, right? Sideways as a row, and then we get to put in multiple containers. So I'll duplicate this container inside like that, duplicate, right? So that's when you can get to put in icons and whatever, right? So that's basically it. And then the other thing is centering. So when you get to see some stuff like this that need to be squeezed in, they need proper fitting. For example, you can't have more space below than above. And then yeah, that's where you get to play around with these, right? Yeah, so that's more like it. So let's get rid of all this work and start working on that actual site that I promised that would work on. And then yeah, we progress going forward. So that's going to be a hell of a task. It will be pretty challenging, and it will be yeah, interesting at the same time. So I'm looking forward to this project live with you right over here on this course. Let me just clean up this. mess, and then we get started. So I did touch up on padding and margin. What I didn't touch up so far on is radius, but I explained this part over here. So let me go back to my workstation over here, and we get to also open this. So I'll be rebuilding this alongside with you. So most of this project here is like literally everything you're gonna need to build any kind of a website from any kind of whatsoever thing. So let's go. So I'm gonna do one big column, and then container, and then have this container that has this stuff here. And then this one is from the following container, and we give it a negative margin, right? I'll show you how it goes. So I'll have one big container. Let's make it full width, right? Because the space is like full width. I'll show you the difference as we progress. So I'm gonna take the color. Since we're gonna use it a lot, I'll set background type. So that if I want to set this background color here, I switch it to style and background type, then select the color, put in the color code, and then I think I should save the color code. I'll save it using this, right? So I'll just not give it a name. So here's the trick. If I go to layout and say boxed, it allows me to put in content from within here. So that's the trick. I need to know where to start with my content. So I won't open the inspect tool mostly. I'll open it whenever I want to know the font size and stuff. But what I can do or see so far is that it's boxed, not full width. In fact, I'll keep it open like that, and then I'll work with this. So I'll just, if you look at this, it shows you there's a section like a container, and then it shows you this sections over here. It shows you the content, and it shows you that there is a more like a child container inside, right? So it's either I choose to just put this content here floating or have it inside of a container. So what I think is best is, let me do two options and show you how it will turn out. You'll get to see the need for the other option. So I'll just get this, copy, Control C, content, then paste over here, then see the font size. Let's see. Okay, easier way is just pointing 64 pixels. Then go to style and turn this to white. So I need to save white. Let me just label it white, then save it. I need to make this to be 64. I'm not sure. I think it's like semi-bold or medium. Semi-bold or medium. Let's keep it medium. If you look at this compared to this, it's like going to be like broad, like it's too much if you look at it, right? So what makes the difference? In fact, let me start off with this, right? Let me put like 100 pixels padding here at the top of this, right? The parent container. So I'll put 100, and then let's put something at the bottom also. So like this. If you look at it, it's like in a container like thing, right? So the thing with that is that even if there is a trick around this, and it's also Elementor that allows us, we go to advanced, we can now manipulate the width of this text, but it's not enough in a way to just manipulate this and have this having a lot of stuff. So what we can do is go back to the main strategy we had in place, that we're gonna put in a container inside and drop this inside the container, right? And then also the text, of which we might get to style on its own, like, right? So I'm gonna put in this and then align it, right? And then let's see what else. So there's a button, So I'm just gonna get the button there, button text. Look at me pressing the button. So I need to highlight this, copy, and then get a button, drop it in here and align. So let me start off with centering it, go to the content and paste the text, and then what's that? Looks like I memorized the thing, but let me just check it with you. So point at the button because I want to see the radius. Radius is the edges of this. So it says the size is 14 pixels, and then the padding is like 2035 as we saw before. Then the radius is 50 pixels, right? So let's go. Start off with radius. So radius, I tried to explain patterns like the edges, the sharpness of the edges. So if I make this locked, meaning every corner it's gonna be the same, right? So if I put a 10, it's gonna do a 10 all over, right? So if you look at it like this, there it is, right? And then that's basically 50 pixels throughout the corners and the bottom and whatever, right? If I make this to be more like a, let me put it this way, right? Let me try and get rid of this and show you how it goes. Now it's 0 throughout, right? Let me center it. If you look at this, I want to try and illustrate something interesting. So if I get to the top, like the border radius of mostly like this, you see this is left, this is right, this is left, this is the top and whatever, right? But if I go to the right, for example, and I give it a radius, it's gonna do the radius to that corner there, right? Meaning if I give it another radius to this left, it's gonna look like this. You get it, right? So what I'm going to do is basically give it 50 pixels throughout so that it's like circular. And then I'm gonna add padding. Padding is what's gonna increase the size of this. As you can see, the padding is like 20 pixels and by 35. So I'm gonna give it a 20 by 35. So 20, and it's locked, and then I get to give it 35. 20 bottom and top, then 35, right? 35 right, 35 left, right? And then publish. And then let's see, I'm thinking I need to somehow align this. Let's see. So I came into the advanced and center it so that the I don't know how to explain it, but it's more like take up the space of the space that was left on the sides so that this thing can justify itself and not stretch like this, right? Like that. Then publish, right? And then how this plays out, it plays out in this way. If you want to enlarge this without playing around with padding, you could come here and stretch it like that, right? But keeping it on default is basic like this, right? Or another trick is to, let me see, there is a trick somewhere to stretch it, and then when you stretch it here, when you come this side, you can mess around with it this side, but I prefer just having it managed by the padding. If I want to increase it, I'll just increase it based on the padding, right? So that's more like it. Let's go on and see. Yeah, it's coming up all right, but not like this one, right? Because of this. So what we're going to do is tamper with the width, like under layout of this container. Remember, there is a container and we put a container inside of it. The first container here, the layout is boxed, the width, right? And then we put in a container that has a that is full width inside. And then what we do is we manipulate the size of that container by reducing this container inside of it like that, right? Keeping it somewhere at 80, right? Like, let's say grow your financial business, the static stunning. So yeah, it looks more like this. What we have to do is just to align any content that is inside of the parent container. So I'll come and align it center like that, then publish. And then if you look here, this text is within the size of this one, right? So what I'll do means come to this text, go to advanced, the width over here, custom, and then I'm gonna reduce it a bit, then center like that, right? So I can just square it up to 75, or let's see 80, right? Then publish. Then let's see the color is okay or not, I don't know. Style, let's see if we can now try messing with the color. So I'll just keep the color to this one and save that color, right? And then in the button here I can go to let's see the button here. I'm trying to figure out something. Let's see. I can add, I missed the arrow there, so I can come to this section, icon. You select icon, this thing here, icon library. Then it allows you to search different icons that you want to use for this specific button, right? I selected that. Then icon position, I put it that side, right? But what I think I should do is just say, let's say right, and I get an actual arrow like that, put it there and save. But let me just go with the one I had selected. Let's say right there. And then if you want to put some space between your icon and the text, you use this, right? So I'll just remove it for now and hit publish, right? Let's go. There's some text here, so I'll just get this text editor, put it below and put in my text, make my text color white. Is it white or black? It's white, and the font is like too small. I think it's a 14, it's a 12. So let's go typography 12. So if you look at this, there's the other interesting thing. Our icon is like white. Let's see under style if we have the icon somewhere, button, color, what did we miss? Okay, the text color is black there, right? And then is it black or it's white? It's black, and it's also not this font size or something. Let's say typography, sorry for delaying, so let's just say 14, keep it light, maybe medium, normal. Cool. So the other thing I was about to talk on this, if you look at it this side, I've made it to be a bit far, but not too far like it looks here, because it looks like it's far. I can't measure this, but it looks far. What I can do is that there is this trick with this text, right? This text, is that inside or outside? Let me put it inside. I think that's what I missed. So I'm gonna just square it up like this. So align, you see this align is different from the alignment here. So it's the same, but there is this space. I can reduce it by going to the advanced section of this text, then kill the margin and reduce the margin above, meaning it will drag itself upward. So if I give this margin top a negative value, it will go up like that, right? But I'll just keep it where it is and lock it. Then the other thing I wanted to say is that the text editor comes with some negative, with a like 10 pixels or 5 pixels padding margin down here. If you look at it, is not centered, and no matter what I do, it will never align. It's like there's some line underneath here no matter what I do, right? So you always have to come to the text only if necessary, right? And you want this to align like square. Come to the text editor, not the visual one. Come here, put your cursor and hit delete on your keyboard. Then the margin below will disappear, right? So there, if I want to drag it closer, I'll just put a negative top margin. So let's go. So far it looks like it's getting closer, although there's like bold, I think. Edit, weight, normal. So let's go. What you see here is simple. It looks like, ooh, it's like some fancy thing. It's just a video element given a radius here, and then it's somewhere underneath here in the section below, but I gave it a negative margin on that. Let me show you this one. So basically it's like I created a new container, and the container has a white background. The background is white. Publish, and then let me give it a padding top and bottom for now. You'll just for us to see. So 100, not 1,000 there, right? And then I'm used to saving, so get familiar with that. And then what I do is that I need to put in more like a column here at the center. Let's say if it's a column. Yeah, it's a column. Or let's just start with a video. So I'll drag a video, put it here, right? And then if you look at it, it's too big, right? I could just make the video to be smaller by going to the width over here and customize it like this, right? So let me delete this. So what I would rather do is get a container, put it in here, and then put the video, not the image, the video inside of the container like this. So I manage the video using the container, right? Makes sense, right? So let me see. So the width of the video here is like the 1070 or something, right? So I'll just manage the width of the container, give it an 80% thing, then center the main container, center it like this, publish. And then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna pull this container, right, and give it a negative margin. So before I do that, I need to go back and kill this padding because it was just for illustration, for us to, not illustration, for us to be able to see what's happening. So I come to this container and then give it a negative top margin so I can drag it upward like this. Make sense in a way, right? Hope it does. So the other thing, between this section here and this, there is like a huge padding. If you look at it from here, there is like some block of padding that is resting like between here and there. Let me just measure this and see what I can pull. So that's like a huge padding or margin. Or the other thing that we could pull that I'm seeing is having, let me see if we can do this. Like also another trick of using the inspect tool is that see, like, just follow where this is. Like, if you see this, it's not within with this, so it's like this is closed and this is one here, then this closes here. Meaning what? Meaning this work here is like in line with this, and it's within that, and this whole section here going down is new, right? And this one, this thing you see is not inside there, it's above. So what I've done is like crazy, because I need to make that this container goes like below here instead, so it will go in there. I need to just find a way to get rid of this margin. I'm repenting now. So there's how it looks, right? The video is in this section, not under here. And in here, what we'll do is keep our padding for now at the top for us to understand what's happening. So it will look something like, let's load up, to look something like this, right? So what we get to do is give this column a negative margin to the bottom so that it can scroll, pull itself downwards like this. Sorry. So this column, get rid of the lock margin, give it a negative value, right? And it's gonna go down like below the section that's down there, right? And it's interesting because I'll get to show you the other parts of this. So I'm just holding until it gets to where I prefer it to be. So I'll stop it somewhere here and publish. If you look at it, it's like pleasing, but somehow it's like hidden. It's like layers now, layers of Canva, right? So what I need to do is hit this, go to advanced. Let's make this square. Let's say let's say 425 or 20. So what I need to do is come down here. The Z index is like layering. So layering is basically means that if I give this thing an index value of 1, then it's gonna be above whatever is below it, because it's not given any value. And then if the other one, like this thing here, is given as that index of 2, you'll see, right? It's like, I think it's like some arrangement or order, right? So it's like layering like that, right? So this one is the one that has a, in fact, let's go, I think it layers going downwards or upwards. Let's just get rid of this here, right? So it's like priority. The one that's the lowest, I think, is the one that like takes up place, and the one that's like highest, like for example, if we put 100, it will stay below, but if we give it a 0, it's like the first layer that's on top. It's like bring to front, bring to forward, and stuff like that. You might remember it from Canva, right? So what I'll do is I click on the button on the video, not the column. Now this is the video. If you're not sure, you bring back your layout tree, right? And then I need to go and find let's see, I need to find my radius, right? It's not under style. Let's go under advanced, then border, and then we give it a 16 pixel, not 18. Let's give it a 16. Publish. It should look something like this, right? So it's getting there. And then if we feel that it's a bit small, because this one is bigger, I'll just increase it on the column, right? I'll just come to the column and increase it. Give it a number in pixels, maybe like a 110, not 111, a 110, I think. It's the 1070, so I'll just give it a 1070, something like this, right? And then what I've done, or what I'll do, is that you can use different kinds of sources for this, right? So let's stop, I made a mistake. So I need to edit the video. So you can either put in a YouTube link to a certain video, or any of this, or it's self-hosted, right? You could simply come and upload the video on your server through here. Then the thing with uploading videos on the server is that they take long mostly. I mean, not take long, they take up space, and we don't want unnecessary storage on the server, of which hosting can handle a lot, but we don't want that. So I'll simply come here and say use external URL. Then for this case here, I'll simply come and copy. Let me edit this. I want to copy this URL and use it instead, right? I'll paste it here, and then as you can see, it's there. Then the other thing, you see this video here doesn't have controls. You can't pause it, you can't stop it or forward it. So I'll remove the controls and loop it, meaning it's gonna play, replay, play, replay, play, rewind and stuff. So it's just gonna keep playing, right? So it's gonna auto play also, start wherever, and it goes on like that, right? As you can see, already our site is taking form, right? Interesting. I think at this step, what I'll do, I need to add padding underneath, and then you pause once at this phase and continue with rebuilding this. Like, just build this to stuff and then see how it goes, and then take it on from there. So I just need to come and so there's the section. Let me go to this one and see if I added enough padding. So let me do 150 below, right? And then publish. What else can I do? Should I do this one already? Yeah, let me just do this and then you pause after, right? So what you see here is basically the thing we've done. It's like a container that's full width, because you see it's long, and inside of the container you have a container that has containers like this, right? So these are containers, and then inside those containers I put images. So let's go. So already we have this container here. Don't mind that, because the video is on top of this, right? Meaning whatever we do, it's gonna start somewhere below that. We'll make sure of that, right? So let's go. So this container, I'm going to add make sure that this container points downwards. It is. And then I'm gonna come and add let's drop a title, right? It's somewhere below, so meaning we need to come to this container and let's see, let's add enough padding until I see what's really happening. Let me just do a 500. There is my text, you see. So what I need to do, I think I need to play around with this in a smart way, right? Because this won't work. My text is stuck somewhere below there. So what I can do for now is just give it a 150, not 1000, and a 150. And then let me also come and, so this one here has a padding, a bottom negative bottom margin, right? So what I can do, let me try playing with margin. So the margin there, the padding, not margin. Let me give this 100. I want to see something. Okay, it doesn't affect anything. I messed it up now. Okay, then. Okay. I just wanted to revert back to those before it got locked. Right? If you make an error, you realize you unlocked it and it's now messing up, you lock it and delete. It will go back to the default padding. So I need to so fix this issue here. I think what I can do is basically just do enough of this until I see my text. Let me just give it a 300, and then from there we'll pick up, right? So let's say somewhere here at 350. Let me just figure out what happened here. Oh, you see the padding there is like wild. There's a 450. That is mad. No wonder I was scrolling forever and I ran impatient. So this section here has a 400 pixel padding. So this is 400. You see, between this part here and where the text begins, right? So it's fair. I was just impatient. Mine it's better though. Like, so now what I can do is get to format these, make it in 18 maybe, and make it normal because it's a bit light. Then say featured in or trusted by, the same thing. I think let's say trusted by. It's trusted by and featured in. Does it hit the same? No. Okay, there. And then what we need to do now is basically drop in the thing, as I said, this container. Let's see. So what this is showing us is that we need to go to this. So now I can't highlight here, you see, because of this layer that is like number 1 Z index. So I'll click here. Let me see. I need to do this trick over here. Let's say no, I'm doing the wrong thing. I was trying to see if I can push the work to go to the middle by tricking it there. So what I'll do is make this full width so that it can take up space there. And then what I'll do is I'll have to put a padding like on the side maybe, right? Or not, but there is padding like 150 or something, 140, 150, like on the side. It's fine. So I'll come here and add a padding. Let's do 150 and see how it goes. What do you see now? I'm messing up. Okay, 150, it's not messed up. Just to, so it's like full width, and then give it this space here, which is like a 150, right? And then the reason it's full width is because if it's boxed, it was gonna start somewhere here and there, right? So let's go. Drop in containers. Go back to the first container to make sure it's going sideways. So what I'll do, workflow, I'll align this first, right? Align this to the center horizontally and vertically, right? Then I'm gonna start duplicating. I can go drag this. It's gonna be a lot of work, like putting each one there and stuff. So I'll just duplicate like this. So now I need to count how many I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I need 8 of those, and I have 6. So I'll duplicate this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you see what I was saying. I explained at first about this issue is that as long as they are inside this one thing here, they are not gonna rebel and break line or order and stuff. They will follow that pattern. that says they need to go to a specific direction. So what I'm trying to do when I click here is to try and center this under layouts. Like, okay, it's centered. I need to also come and center this like here, right? So that's more like it. What I'll need to do is save these images and put them in the file, in the email. I'll just save them. I saved them already, I think. And then I just need to come and make this full resolution. And then I need to just copy, go around pasting, paste, paste, and like that, right? Then publish. If you look at how it looks so far, it's like that, right? Then I'll need to simply come to the first image, click on it, upload, go into my files, lesson, whatever. So I'll need to select those files like 3, 4. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Open. And then I need to start assigning them one at a time, right? Others, last time when I checked, one is bigger, one is smaller, one is, so you'll get to adjust the width as we go, right? No, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, HubSpot, and then there, right? So you can already see, let me just publish them. You can already see that some are bigger, like this is bigger, this is bigger, some are smaller. So what I'll do is click on the image itself, not the column, the image. So I'll make sure it's the image. Go to style and adjust the width of this image. Sorry, so I'll just make it a 35 maybe. And then I can maybe copy this and make everything a 35. I'm not sure how it will look. Okay, it's bad for others. So the ones that are big, I'll make them 35. Okay, they can't take the same thing. So I'll just have to adjust the ones that look big so that they size up with others, right? So something like a 75 maybe, right? It's not bad. I'll just save. These ones were smaller, but mine are like bigger and more clear, right? And this one was too big though, right? I managed to do that. And then I think I can pull this trick just below for UX UI, because it doesn't make sense this floating in the middle of nowhere. So let's do this over here. So over here is just the same thing, one column that has 3 columns inside, right? And remember how it goes, like I illustrated it before. It's one column inside. I mean, it's one column and it has multiple columns inside. So I'll just put one column, make sure it's like okay, let me just do this first. So I click on that, then close this to be sure that I don't drop things inside here, because it will be a chaos. Like you see, it gets chaotic at times like this. So I need to be sure there it's below, right? Then let's see the formatting of this. Yeah, it's not bad, although it's boxed. This is boxed because there is no thing at the side, right? So let's go. I'm gonna do 3 inside, but let's do padding first, some order. Padding, sorry, padding, let's do 50 and see how it goes. 50-50, sorry again. 50-50, publish, and then I'm gonna drop in, let's go sideways. I'm gonna drop in my container inside, then duplicate them 3 times. There, if you see, it starts here instead of there because it's one, and then that is like boxed. So that's the thing with box. If I had made this boxed, it was gonna start here, right? And then let's go. I'll make the background of this columns this color, which I need this color, right? Come, style, background style, type, not style, paste the code. No, I selected the wrong thing. Delete this, clear. So I need this. I selected that by mistake. I need this. There, paste in here. Mostly it will be black because it needs a hash, so it's cool. You just make sure it's proper, right? So I'll also do this one, background style, background type. I'll show you this other trick also, background style. So I'll just choose the color again. To avoid this choosing color again, always come back and go to this color and edit. So I'll just say this color is cream, then create and publish, right? Then come in here and choose the cream, come to this one and choose the color cream under background type, there, right? And then what I'm going to do, let's see, yeah, there, right? So what I'm going to do now is just play with a certain trick now. So this one here, it's not an image and text, it's a different element now. That's why I chose to do this. So this element, I suggest you follow this, right? I said you do this one and then you do this one and stop. Then after the 400 and something or 3 something padding, you continue. So now there's part of you continuing this. So you get to search for, you see we're still using this whatever thing, this free plan, weirdly, right? So we get to use, where is it? We need to get image box. So you can use icon, but icons are limited because we need to go out and buy or download SVG formats for icons and then take it from there. But what always works is just image box, drag it in here, and then let me see, yeah, I have the images, upload them. So I have 1, 2 and 3. This one there, right? As you can see, it's already taking form or shape, right? Then it's at the top but aligned to the left. Then let's reduce the spacing. Then the image, I'll manipulate the width, like keep it at an 18. Is it 18? It's much smaller. 15, right? And then that's where we get to now play with the font here. I bet it's like let's see, how much is it? It's an 18. I was gonna say a 15, which is wrong. I think it's because of that. Let's go. So the format or the text here is like you play around with it in here. So the title is black. Is it black? Yep. Typography, it's an 18. Let's make it normal, lighter, and then there's like 17 for the description, a 17, then publish. If you check, The difference between the one I've made and this one is that this one doesn't have padding, space. And space is important, right? If you check here, the padding is like 20 across. If you see one, I wish I could point, sorry. If you see there on padding, it says 10. It says what? It says, or 10 is for the one outside. The one inside, it says 20 only. It means this whole thing here is like 20 pixels, right? Let's go to this guy, and inside of the advanced section we give it a locked up 20, like that. Then what I'll do is copy this because it's something we formatted, and paste it throughout. Then I'll copy the container and paste the style on top of the container, so I don't repeat the same thing, like that. What I'll just have to change is the content. So I'll copy this, come to this one here, content, title, then copy this, paste, same, copy this, come to this one. Oh flip, I attempted installing by mistake, nearly had a heart attack. You might have had that. So copy this. That's why as much as you want to move fast, you must tread carefully. That's why I keep saving my work after doing just a few things, because damn, you might make one small move and you lose your work, right? Because when you see this work done here, it's all in on my browser in my PC until I hit publish, and it's on the cloud in the server, right? So let's see. And it looks good. Let's see. So can you guess how much radius is this? Or can you find out just before I tell you? Can you try? Just quickly, let me stop here and you quickly try doing this one, and then I'll continue. I'm waiting. I wish I would play music, but apparently I'm not allowed to do music. So there, just clicked on this, right? There is this content inside. As you can see, it says Elementor image box wrapper. So I'll say Elementor widget container there, and then it says border radius 16. Had you got it right? Let's say, so I need to put this to the container, not that. So let's see, style. You see on other elements you find this border under the advanced only. This one is under the style, so it's a 16. I'll just scroll here, then publish and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks good. And then do the same, style, border 16. Do the same here. To avoid doing the same thing, remember the trick is to just copy paste style, right? Let's see how it looks there, right? If you check the padding up here, it's a bit it's not bad. Could reduce it maybe to a 30 or 0, because there is some space underneath here, I think. I keep pointing to my screen. I forget that you can't see my hands. I think it's bad looking like this. Let me give it a 50. What we can do is give it a 50, and then write something on top. I think, where does this go? Sideways only. Cool. I think what I'll do is let me see how does it look. Hey, it looks good. Let me continue to this section, right? Remember I made this, took this, brought it back here. So I'm gonna put this here. So if you look at this thing we are doing, it's like piecing in different pieces of different stuff that you could ever make from somebody's side. For example, you could make a landing page for a certain business that does a certain thing, and it's just this, and then it's just no video, and then straightforward it's just like this text, this here, and then after that you put in this. So it's like tricky. Sorry, I hit the mic. So it's like a trick thing. You can keep repeating, swapping stuff, but what I'm trying to do is like do as much tricky and advanced stuff designs so that you could find it easier to repeat them, right? So let's go. I'm gonna do this one now. So I'm just gonna copy this. You can create a new container, and then let's see. So same trick. I think we could do something here. There's just one container. Yeah, we could have one container with this container and repeat that, right? Repeat what we've done up here. This one main container thing having a container. So this one is boxed, and then we add a container inside, and then that container, this one, I think I can give it a padding of 50-50. I think I've picked up a pattern of having 50 do well and 50 like this. And then what else? Just start putting in my elements. Center this one, make it green, and then put my text, make it smaller, like an 18. Save. Let me try making it a bit darker. It's too light. Yeah, something like this, I think. Should I save it? Yeah, for next time. So there, and then remember that trick, this one, and then get to say copy this. That's the one which we might need to change the width of the title, because our box isn't that big, isn't that small, but we could adjust the size of the container. There is it a 48? It's like a 68. I mean, that's like a 48. See, I already memorized that because I found myself arguing with myself about this. So you see it's big, so we need to play with the container there. But first let me get this text from the text editor. There, align. Remember I made a new color. It doesn't work. Make it black, primary black. There, then maybe give it an 18. And 18 works. So there we go. Let's see, what did we miss? This one, let me give it something like an 18 or 15, 16. Don't mind me going back to this. I just felt like something is off, but it's cool. Let's go. What we do is come to this container, and you remember the trick under layout, reduce it like that. Let's make it a 70. Then here's a question: should I align it using this or align it using that? What do you think? See, when you click this one, doesn't work, meaning we need to align it. Remember the trick from the parent. Publish. Then come and reduce the width of the text over here to a 70. and then center it, then publish, right? And there our site looks more like this. We have this element done, this one, right? This one was straightforward. What we can do, let's get rid of this. What's the issue? The padding here. Let's close this and I see which one it is. So the padding over here, I think it's healthy, that padding, but the main padding is this one. It has 100 and something bottom. So let me just kill it and see. There. How does it look? Yeah, it looks okay. So there's stuff you could like play around with, different formats and shapes, right? And then tricky this one. It's interesting, not tricky. So this one, I used an image box also, right? So the image box is like, remember the trick I showed you? Let me close this. So there's like one full width, right? And the full width has where's the other width? So the full width has just three the container's full width has 3 containers inside, and another line of another container underneath. The reason I've done that is so that when we go to make a responsive thing, this is not done yet, it's not responsive, right? When we make it responsive, so that it can somehow align things properly, right? This one follows this one, this one follows this one, or they go side by side, then this side by side, right? There will be 2 rows with this, so it doesn't get to do like some funny thing where this is like so, right? It should be like 1 2 1 2 1 2, not 1 2 1 2, like that would be off, right? It should be in this order. So what I'm going to do is just one container that has 3 containers, 1 container, 3 containers, right? So let's go. I either decide to close it up here, right, so that I can put this outside of that, right? So I can just put 100 padding to the top to be sure of what we're doing, not 1,000, sorry, and the one below. Always do this to see what's really happening. And then let me make this as full width as possible. You'll see there's as full width with no padding. The other trick we did somewhere here, it didn't get to the edges because there is padding. So now we don't put padding, and we'll see how it goes. So it goes down by default, sorry, but we want it to go sideways. We go get a container, drop it in, and then duplicate it 3 times. There it is, right? So after this, we're going to decide afterward the padding issue, right? But mainly it's just a matter of saying, after we've done this, you see the padding there is like 90 instead of, how much is it here? Go to the one I made recently. You see there is like a 150. So instead of a 150, let's just give it a 90, right? Like 90, so that it can be like somewhere nicely there. So come here, give this a 90 and a 90 left and right, and keep my stuff at the center. Then let's see what we need to do. Close this. So I just need to upload, put in the image box and then take it from there. So let's go image box. I'll just search for it instead of scrolling through. Image box, and then let's see, it's aligned to the side. style. Okay, it's at the top, but alignment like this, and then spacing, then the image, that's 100 width, right? And then what else? Let's just upload the image. Content image upload. So I need to know my images by head. Now that's the trick. So it's like all this. I think it's all this, right? It's insurance, investment. What else? No, I think I'm getting it wrong. Let's see, should I save contact, whatever? What else? I think I've selected most. Upload. There are 4, 2 left. Trading platform and something there. As it's uploading, let's see. A trading platform, where is it? I'm not sure if there's a pricing one. Let's see. I think also this. So I'll start off with that. Right, and then yeah, I got it right. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, and paste it here. You see the tricks I do to allow myself to flow, like move faster, because I can't be working with the same thing, honestly. Right there, and then let's see how big they are. Yeah, you see they are big already. The only thing they'll need is radius. Then the radius is on the image, remember? See the radius there? Let's give it a 16, so it's like a 16 all over. Copy, paste, style, not paste, but paste style. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's not a 16. A 16 is too much, I think. Let's see. It's a 10. I could see that there's too much. It's a 10. So copy, paste style, there. And then what's the text here? It's like an 18 heading, and so there is a heading only, doesn't have the content, the description. So delete all this, right? Then go to the headings and make them the right thing. So content, title, 18. Copy, paste style, save. Then what else? The other one below. So it's like, you see, it's like straight crazy. Think the one thing I might be missing or messing up is that, let's see how this looks so far. I think the one thing I might be trying to mess up is this whole thing, whereby, because if I keep duplicating this, okay, it looks good. I thought I was gonna mess it up, but you see, there it is. It looks bad. What we could do, it's simple. It's a matter of if you look here, let's point at this. If you look at this, let's go to the first one there. So it has a line that has how many? 1, 2, close this one, 3, and then another line that has 1, 2, 3, and then you see how I dissect this, and then there is let's see how to get there. This one's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So I will get to this one here, kill the top padding and the bottom padding, and duplicate this so that I can get to manipulate them like this, right? So I'll just change the images. So I used 1, 2, 3, then I'll use 1, 2, 3. I think the main thing is picking up my logic. Like, there's the wrong image. What did we do wrong? Okay, go back. We don't have this. Yeah, we don't. So I need to just go find that instead. So upload. Where is that guy? Where is he? He's not in here. I don't see that image, so I should just download it. This one. It says it's there, but I didn't see it, so I'll just drag it in instead. Let's go. So I'm just pushing this so that I can wrap up this few sections and get on with the next tricky parts and make it a part 2. So let's go. And then there we are. It's saved. Radiuses exactly as it looks this side, right? And then I think I should wrap it up here, and we go back and have a lesson 2 part 1, which is this, and then lesson 2 part 2. So we're gonna, let me correct this, so we can have lesson 2 part 1 and lesson 2 part 2. So let's wrap it up here, and then we come back and create the rest of the site. Hope you're enjoying so far, and you're pausing, stopping where you see fit, and you continue, because at times I forget to stop and say let's stop here, and you do this on your own. But yeah, that's more like it. Excited to be working with you, and yeah, let's see how we keep up or pick up in the second part of the second lesson. Cheers.